Hi there, I'm Daniel Lader, founder of Lader CPA and Associates, and welcome back to our weekly Instagram live series where we are talking about building a successful private practice from beginning to infinity. Why did the accountant need therapy? Because every time he tried to relax, he kept calculating the cost of his free time. All right, now that we've got that all-important joke on the books, let's talk about what we're talking about this week. Hiring your first bookkeeper, and what is the benefit and what to look for. So first off, we are talking about hiring a bookkeeper, not hiring an admin or other therapists or any other employee or support you're looking for. This is exclusively about bookkeepers. So keep that in mind. You may have already hired other employees like therapists or admin, and that's fine. And we're not going to worry about that. We're only talking about bookkeepers. So first off, why is hiring a bookkeeper important? What are the benefits? Well, first off, it saves you time that you can put on focusing to clients, not on numbers and money. Second, if you've got a bookkeeper, an experienced bookkeeper, you can rely on their financial records they're producing and the financial reports they're producing and use that information to make better decisions. And it reduces your stress when you need to know what your financials are saying. You can look at a report and know that that information is telling you something helpful and useful instead of looking at your bank account and thinking, oh my gosh, I know I have $1,000 in the bank, but I don't know if I'm going to be paying $500 for bills or if $20,000 is coming in. All of that stress disappears when you have a bookkeeper because you understand the flow. Now, also having a bookkeeper helps you prevent expensive errors and find deductions that would have otherwise been missed. Lastly, like I said, having a bookkeeper helps you make better financial decisions. So now that we've got that talked about, let's talk about when is a good time to hire a bookkeeper. Day one, probably not. Day 1,000, too late. So when do you hire a bookkeeper for your practice? Well, when you're spending more time managing the finances than you are with your clients, obviously decision's been made. Now, for those of you who went to business classes in school, you might remember that it's important to delegate away the tasks that are less effective for you to be doing. It's more important for you to be working with clients and on the business than it is for you to be doing the bookkeeping and financial side of it. It's less economically expensive to hire a bookkeeper to handle that so you can work on the real income generating activities for your business. Now, when you're wanting to grow and expand your business, become larger beyond just the single you're going to want that information a bookkeeper can provide to you so you can know what you can afford to hire for another therapist or another role. So having that information a bookkeeper provides can help you to grow and expand your business. Now, there's a couple things you want to look for when you're looking for a bookkeeper to help you. First, there's a whole variety of types of bookkeepers and types of industries they work with. There's bookkeepers, for example, in the construction industry or the retail industry, who they may be really good at what they do, but that's not the same as the mental health professional industry or the service industry. They have different requirements, different practices, different ways of treating things. So when you're looking to hire a bookkeeper, look for someone who already has experience in the service area or the mental health field or healthcare field. That way you get someone who already knows a little bit about the ins and the outs and how this type of business runs. You're going to want a bookkeeper who already has knowledge about the accounting softwares to be used. Every bookkeeper knows about QuickBooks. Most of them know about Xero. It depends on what you are using. Ask them if they have that experience. Make sure they do. Also, you're going to want to make sure your bookkeeper has experience using your EHR software or something similar and knows how they can integrate, because your bookkeeper is going to be working with those kinds of things to pull out any financial data that needs to be got out of those. So make sure they have experience with that as well. Second or thirdly, it's also important that your bookkeeper is good at communicating and responsive. When you have questions, you want answers. That's what bookkeepers do. They provide ways for us to get answers out of our financial data. So make sure they're good at communicating and are very responsive when you have your questions. Lastly, and specifically for the healthcare industry, make sure they understand HIPAA and are able to comply with that. Last thing you want to find out is that your bookkeeper has been bragging around town that this famous person goes to your clinic and spends $5 million for addiction recovery services, or anger management. You know why that's a huge no-no. Make sure your bookkeeper understands that too. Now, as far as how to find these bookkeepers, there's good bookkeepers all over the place. And you're wondering, how do I find them? Well, you can go all the usual routes. Indeed, you can check all the local classifieds. Probably a better idea is to ask other therapists what kind of bookkeepers they're using, where they found them. Ask your professional contacts, your tax professional, your lawyer. See if they have information to help point you to finding a bookkeeper. When you find bookkeepers you're interested in, make sure you interview them. You're going to want to know and trust this bookkeeper, so make sure that's something you're comfortable with. A bookkeeper is going to see all the information in the business, including information like salary for you and your employees. They also are able to find out very easily how much clients are paying, either private pay or through insurance, how much is associated with your clients. They're able to get that information pretty easily, so make sure it's a bookkeeper that you can trust and is trustworthy. Now, there's a lot out there. Most of them are. I'm just saying that to say, avoid the ones that are bad. Now, it's always a good idea when you have a new bookkeeper, start them off on a trial period, a few months, make sure everything works out. I would be more concerned about how they work together with you and the other employees versus their technical skills. If you have done your homework properly, they're going to have good technical skills already. You just want to make sure they're a fit in your clinic, because you're going to be working with them closely. Now, a lot of you have the mentality of DIY, do it yourself. I admit I'm a DIYer myself a lot of the times, and that's okay. When you're starting a business, a lot of the times you want to do the bookkeeping stuff yourself. Nothing wrong with that, as long as you follow the steps we talked about in prior videos. Things like getting good accounting software like QuickBooks or Xero or one of the others. You can do that. But it's like I mentioned earlier, it's the question of economics. Is it worth your time doing the bookkeeping versus you could be spending that time seeing more clients, just relaxing and recovering your brain, or other business running activities? So that's the question. You might be, if you're DIYing, you might be comfortable doing it up to a point, but when you're growing, you'll find that point comes pretty quick. And having a bookkeeper on staff is going to help you to alleviate that part of the stressful situation that is running a business. Now, also remember, hiring a bookkeeper, it's an investment in your company. They will help you to save time and increase your financial accuracy, so you're working with good information. A bookkeeper does not directly create any income generating streams. They don't do that. That's what you and the therapists you hire are for. So think of a bookkeeper as an investment. You pay the bookkeeper whatever the appropriate amount is per month, per week, whatever the schedule, and you're not going to see a dollar for dollar return on that. But you will see an increase in the financial security, the financial knowledge of the business, so that you can make better decisions, so that you can have that information to increase and grow your business. I know I'm rambling a little bit. Bookkeeping is at its core a pretty simple concept. But broadly speaking, bookkeeping is very important to any business, just to know and understand where they're at. Now, if you have any questions about bookkeeping, how to find bookkeepers, what kinds of things they can and should or should not do for you, go ahead and leave a comment below. I'm happy to answer any questions, or DM me directly and I'll answer those questions when I'm able to. Now, if you would like to schedule a 30-minute call with my firm for a free discovery call where we can talk about your firm's needs and how my firm's services might fit to help you, go ahead and DM me. We'll send you a calendar link and we can talk about your firm and what the needs are. Now, also follow and subscribe for future tax tips and event notifications from us here. Also, go ahead and visit our website, latercpa.com. I will see you on the next video. And remember, have a great weekend and keep helping others to help themselves. Bye-bye.